So it is Bub74H back with another video today, and today I will be discussing the 1990 Transformers movie and why it's bad. For the first point, it's just really inconsistent and really pointless in a lot of parts. And the runtime is way too long for what it wants to do. The whole movie could be done in like 40 minutes. There's like an hour or two of fluff. Not an hour or two, because the movie isn't 2 hours, but there's a lot of fluff in the movie that isn't really required. The whole plot with the quintessons, the whole plot with the those aliens that are also like supposed to be Transformers, but they're like red and they ride bikes. Those ones. But they're not. It's weird. As let me get to that too. That these aliens have the same abilities. They look nearly the same, and they're supposed to also be a different species. Like there's another guy that does the same thing, where he's like locked in a cell next to Hot Rod and I forget the other guy's name. Yeah, he's walked into the cell next to them, and he's like, "I'm the last person on my planet." It's like, okay, so you mean to tell me that there's like 50 different species of like Transformers that look nigh identical, have the same body type, and humans are pretty much the only ones in the entire universe that are fleshy. Like, that doesn't make a sense. And you could say, well, but the quintessons were required because they were expanded upon in the TV show. It's like, yes, but in the movie they're not a major part of it. The whole movie is based around Unicron, who for some reason just happens to know everything. Like Galvatron thinks he blew up the ship that the Autobots won, and it turns out they had like an escape hatch, right? And Unicron's like, "You have failed me," and he gets pissy with him, and it's like, oh, why are you getting pissy with him? He thought he killed him, and how would you know otherwise anyway? Like, at the beginning of the movie, it's also shown that, like, Unicron can, like, view things from, like, the other Transformers' perspectives. But it's not explained why he can do that. And there's, like, just a lot of plot lines that didn't matter. Like, we see in the first bit of the movie that he blew up a planet. Not blew up, but he ate the planet. And it's later revealed that the guy who, you know, got away from the planet clash was the guy we see in the cell with Rodimus. And it's like, okay, that's neat, but did that really matter? Like, did that really affect anything? Did that really leave any long-standing impact? Another complaint I would have with this film would be that this kid, Daniel, he can't do anything. He's pretty much useless, and they keep him around. He's kind of annoying, too, on top of that. But he doesn't do anything, and he can't really serve the plot in any way, as he's not a giant robot, right? He's kind of useless in that sense. And it's like, well, how is he going to do anything? He's just a kid. It's like, yes, that makes sense. I get why he doesn't do anything. But my complaint isn't that it doesn't make sense why he doesn't do anything. My complaint is, why keep him around if you can't think of any logical way to use him? That's my complaint. And my second complaint, not second, but another complaint I had with the film is that it kind of tries to be really edgy, and then it also doesn't try to be really edgy. Like, there's a time where Daniel's dad, I forget his name, I think it's Spike. Spike says, "Oh shit." It's like, oh, so we're cussing now. And there's like the iconic death scene with Optimus or Prime, and there's also a death scene where just Megatron just straight up slaughters everyone on a ship. And it's like, okay, so this movie's trying to be more mature. Okay, I'll run with it. So I run with it, right? And it's like, okay, so let me get this straight. You want to go for a more mature tone. Like, you're showing people getting eaten by sharks. Like, you're throwing people in shark pits and them getting eaten alive. But apparently that sort of tone is okay. But we can't show, like, anything that bad elsewise. Like, and then that's another thing at the film, is that they'll kind of be edgy at points, and then they'll kind of turn it down a bit for the sake of Nothing really. Like there's like a dance scene, uh, where these like red again biker Transformers. Yes, they're bikers. Don't ask. It's stupid. Where they dance with them. It's like, okay, so you're telling me that you want us to take it seriously with people getting thrown in chalk pits and people getting their chest blasted open, but you're also telling me you want to take this seriously. Like, its tone is just everywhere. So that's another thing. And about the point I said, well, it tries to be, edgy, but it, also goes back on that. That's what I was meaning there. And about the biker thing being stupid, it's like, okay, they have, like, I think it's ballons. Anyways, they have these, right? And it's like, okay, so how does, like, a biker culture, something that originated and started on Earth, somehow have correlation of an alien race? Like, this is my issue with aliens in fiction. They always know English. They always have perfect knowledge of Earth customs, of Earth's mannerisms, Earth's languages. Like, they just have perfect knowledge of everything because it's convenient. Like Darth Maul, he can breed with humans. He can look like human. Like again, let's take the Saiyans from Dragon Ball. Like, they look like humans. They breed like humans. They literally can reproduce with humans. It's the same with, like, the Utsutsuki aliens in Boruto and Naruto, where they can breed with humans. They look like humans. They have the same body type as humans. Like, literally, the only thing distinguishing these different races is one or two physical features, with the Saiyans having tails, and the Utsutsuki having white skin and horns, which then again does go away with subsequent generations, because as we see with Hagoromo, his skin was lighter than his mother's, and then his kids were then just like pale, like just human colored skin. That people can say that's racist, but again, that's just like what people would say the average human color skin is. That's not me being racist or anything. That's just me saying that would be the typical human skin color. Anyways, back on what I was saying about the film. I dislike how a lot of fiction does aliens. They just have them be humans, but they're green or they're white or they have a tail. It's like, are you really going to tell me that there's a whole alien race that also has Earth customs, Earth knowledge? Like the Saiyans literally have a monarchy. Are you telling me that it just so happens that a species can have similar cultures to humans, similar clothing, decorative options to humans? I get the story and characters are made by humans, so they're going to probably look more humanoid than not. But my issue with that is you're expecting us to believe this is a completely alien world, right? Like Transformers kind of does this better, but it also kind of acts like humans are aliens among aliens, with them being the only ones who are different, which is kind of stupid. Then again, this audio is going to be kind of shit, so if people are not interested in just like me ranting about like a decade-old, probably a 2-decade-old movie, then you're free to like come off here, come off the video. But then again, as per my usual, reviews, I'm going to make a point of this. With writing, alien characters, you should go the route of E.T. Not to say E.T. is like a perfect film or anything, because it's most certainly not, but it has all the writing tenets of a good alien character. He's, alien, like he looks like an alien, right? That's not to say that the stereotypical alien look has to be the only alien look, because I said the mechanized alien look for the Transformers is kind of cool. The most I expect for aliens is for them not to be humans. Like, literally just do not be a human, and then everything's fine. Ben 10 does this fine too, where they have the aliens be actual aliens. I think that creates more of an issue though in that show, as the aliens in there kind of just have powers, all of them, And then it's like, if every alien has powers, then why doesn't humans have powers? Why are humans the only ones with exceptions? That's how it kind of is with these, like, universes with aliens. It never makes sense. Because, like, every single species in the galaxy has powers, and then humans are just useless. It's like, okay, so you mean to tell me every single species in the universe develop powers, and humans are just useless? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Literally makes no sense. It's like, well, you could say humans didn't evolve as great. It's like, okay, but if that was true, then you would have to also say different species also didn't evolve as great or didn't go up as great, which isn't true, because in most of the show, we see that all of them have powers, from a literal spider monkey to a ball of goop. Like, this idea that it's specifically only humans that like cannot have powers is kind of ridiculous. And again, it's the same way in almost nearly every fantasy story, and it doesn't make any sense. With E.T., you could say, well, he has powers. It's like, yes, but he's the only alien we know of. Like, he could literally be the only alien species with that power. And it would be like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Maybe he's just, special or unique among, different species. With humans being, special, unique, it doesn't make sense, because that's the focal point. With them being the focal point, you would have to expect them to do something in order to be of worth keeping around, which they're not. That's why I hate human characters in stories not revolving around humans. Like, if Naruto, wasn't about, ninjas, I would be like, wow, why do we have ninjas in a story about this, right? Yeah, but I kind of, if you have your story as a focal point surrounding X type of character, then I expect that character to be the prevalent one, not humans. Like, this is the issue I have in a lot of Transformers shows, where it's like, the Transformers themselves are not the focal point.